God's covenant with Abram, based on Genesis 15. One evening, Abram sat outside his tent, gazing at the vast night sky. The stars sparkled like diamonds in the darkness. Although Abram was blessed with many things, he felt sad because he didn't have any children. God had promised Abram that he would make him into a great nation, but Abram wondered how that would happen. "Lord, you have blessed me with so much, but I have no child to inherit all that you've given me," Abram said. Then God spoke to Abram. "Do not be afraid, Abram. I am your shield, your great reward." Abram replied, "Lord, how can you bless me when I have no children? A servant in my household will be my heir." God smiled and said, "No, Abram, your own child will be your heir." God led Abram outside his tent and said, "Look up at the sky and count the stars, if you can. That is how many descendants you will have." Abram stared at the countless stars above him. He tried to count them, but there were too many. His heart filled with wonder and faith. Abram believed God's promise, and God was pleased with Abram's faith. Then God made a special covenant with Abram. He told Abram, "I brought you out of your old land to give you this land to own. Your descendants will live here and grow into a great nation." Abram trusted God, even though he couldn't see how it would all happen. He knew that God always keeps his promises. Questions to think about. Why do you think God showed Abram the stars when he made his promise? Have you ever trusted someone to keep a promise? How did it feel when they did? What does this story teach us about believing in God's plans, even when we can't see them yet? Lessons from the story. God always keeps his promises. Even when it seems impossible, God is faithful. Faith pleases God. Abram believed God's promise, and God was pleased with his faith. God's plans are big and amazing. Just like the stars in the sky, God's plans for us are more wonderful than we can imagine. Next time you see the stars at night, remember God's promise to Abram and how he always keeps his word. Trust that God has amazing plans for you too.